I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact focused on personal growth, my Knowledge Workbook series and Creative Healing course can help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking to you about how to survive a breakup.
This is your breakup survival kit.
Going through a breakup is one of the worst pains you'll ever feel in your life. And it is so difficult for so many different reasons. Mm-hmm. But you have to be able to take care of yourself. You have to look out for your mental health. If you don't, you're going to get more depressed and you're likely to spiral.
Right, and after a breakup, you're in a really vulnerable state. Some people will do absolutely anything to feel better, including some things that can be really self-destructive. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to talk about today ways to really protect your mental health, to maintain your sanity during a breakup. We're going to talk about some go-tos that people tend to fall into after a breakup that can be really hurtful in the long run, and what to do instead of those things.
Okay, so you better listen up and you better follow these instructions, okay?
Our survival to do. So one of the most common behaviors after a breakup is to stalk, whether that is actually driving past your ex's home or whether that is cyber stalking.
Yes, and it's so easy to do in many situations. Mm-hmm. Unless your ex is made their social media on private, you're going to find a loophole and try and get around it.
Right, you might be checking their LinkedIn if that's all you got.
Yeah, exactly. You're creating Finstagrams, your fake Instagrams, uh-huh. You're doing whatever you can. You're going to friends. Mom, would you check her social media? Let me see your Facebook. I want to look at her Facebook mm-hmm. through your account. So, yeah. It's very easy to stalk because we're desperate to connect with them. We're desperate to feel mm-hmm. close to them. And you just can't stop that longing for that closeness.
Right. And we become so anxious after a breakup that this kind of pattern can become a compulsion. You can start to check. And there can almost be a thrill in checking. What am I going to find this time? Is it going to give me some more information to make me feel like I actually have control over the situation? This is something that in the long term is going to be self-destructive to your brain because you're creating this compulsion, you're creating this unhealthy habit, and it's an illusion of control. You know, whatever it is that they post next, sure, it might give you a little bit of information, some in on their lives, but ultimately there's bigger fish to fry here. We have, skills to learn. We've got a lot to process with the breakup, and that compulsion can lead us away from our own personal growth.
Yeah, the catastrophizing over something so small. Mm-hmm. They could just change their profile picture or upload a picture of them, a new picture, and you're just like, oh, that's it. They don't care about me now.
Yeah.
There's a new picture. I must be out of their life, and they don't think about me. They don't want me back. It's so easy just to take something so small and put so much mm-hmm. meaning behind it.
Yeah, and this is part of our hypervigilance after a breakup. For many of us, even if you can kind of feel a breakup coming, it's still really impactful. Mm-hmm. So it can have our nervous system on high alert, and we're looking to see, okay, what's the next big thing that's going to happen? Something else is going to, fall from beneath our feet. So that can be that hypervigilance in play. So just be mindful of it.
Yes.
An alternative is to find different behaviors to go to when you feel this urge come up. So whether that is texting a specific friend or any friend, whether that is picking up a book, whether that is finding another healthy distraction.
Go for a walk,
mm-hmm.
put on our channel, calm yourself down.
Splash your face with some water.
Go sit down and do the workbooks mm-hmm. or the course. A lot of people recently have been saying they like the idea of okay, so if I look at their social media, I have to watch the creative healing course or do some activities before and after. It's like I'm rewarding myself for looking, but I'm holding myself accountable.
Yeah. So you want to find a healthy distraction or a healthy alternative. Another thing that people commonly fall into after a breakup that can be very destructive is dating before you're ready.
Yep.
Sometimes you just want to have another person, another romantic interest to distract you. And this can be one of those unhealthy distractions at times.
Absolutely.
And it gets complicated because now you're involving somebody else's emotions, needs, desires into your life. And having to manage that, even if it's a fling. I know many of you are like, well, it's just casual. It's just, to distract myself. The best way to get over a breakup is to get under someone else.
I've heard that one before.
Right? But even in a no strings attached, casual kind of situation, there's still a level of responsibility that you have for the other person.
Yep.
So just things to be mindful of.
And you're kind of using that person like a safety net because you're afraid to be alone. And that is just more insecure behavior, right? Being afraid to be alone is insecure. And that is going to lead you to getting back into those unhealthy patterns. The strongest thing you could do, the most confident thing that you can do is learn to be alone.
Mm-hmm. Right. And things get so messy when you involve others. So just be mindful of who you're bringing into what.
Yep.
You want to be very clear with anybody that you get involved with romantically right after a breakup.
Yep.
So another thing that we see people commonly fall into is surrounding yourself with negative people or negative messages. And this is something that we've talked about recently, where a lot of what is out there, a lot of what people are starting to believe can be very divisive.
It makes you feel empowered in a way, right? Because a lot of times you hear these empowering messages of women are like this and men are like this, and it's not going to lead you to feeling an ability to connect and trust other people. It's going to make you more likely to isolate.
Right. And when you're in a vulnerable place like you are after a breakup, you are more susceptible to that kind of messaging in order to feel powerful, in order to have some kind of answer.
So be careful. Be careful online. Be careful in forums. Be careful even in the comment section. Sometimes we can get really stuck on what people are saying in the comment section, but you don't know who's on the other side of that comment, who that person is, what their issues are, what they have going on in their life. There's a lot you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And this not only goes for content that you are exposed to, but also people that are in your life. Sometimes it's friends and families, people who have had very bad experiences themselves and might be very jaded, might have, just very negative viewpoints that can impact you negatively. So just be aware of what you're picking up on.
Think about this, okay? Think about now you're learning about attachment theory. What is that person's attachment style? Right? Think about that. What is that coach's attachment style? Has that coach been to therapy? Is that dismissive, avoidant, giving out relationship advice that's never seen a therapist's office? Better be careful. Better think about that stuff of the mental health and where the information is coming from.
These are all really valid points. Another thing that we can often fall into after a breakup that can be destructive is we start to neglect our bodies. We start to neglect our hygiene. We start to neglect those things that keep us in check, our self-care, and that can be a slippery slope. So these can be habits that develop after a breakup that end up impacting you negatively in the long run. So one important thing to do is to make sure that you're taking care of your mind and body, cleaning yourself. And this is also for health reasons too. It's not just to smell good. I love smelling good, but it's not only just for the purpose of that, but it's also for your health. Making sure that you're clean, making sure that you're presentable, and lean into the enjoyment of self-care. I know when you're depressed, this is really hard to do. If you're able to try to make it fun, it can make it a little easier. And listen, I get it. Depression can be really hard. Breakup depression can be really hard. If you need to do a little wipe now and again, some wipes, some baby wipes, whatever you need to do to take care of yourself, even if it's in a very small way.
We're going to file that under minimum self-care. baby wipes.
Listen, it's real. Sometimes, you don't have the energy to muster up to go take a shower or to brush your teeth. If you need to mouthwash it for the day, do that. But start to take care of your body. move your body, be mindful of your body. Maybe you don't have to be an ultra marathoner tomorrow, but maybe it's just about stretching a little bit. Maybe you just stretched a little bit before getting into bed, right as you wake up. Moving your body, being aware of that mind and body connection is really important.
Remember, your body releases stress hormones, and so you got to try and get them out of your system. You know, being active can really help. Even if you go for a walk and listen to some music or listen to us on a podcast, you know, it can help when you get your body moving. So do whatever you can to get moving.
Right. And you also want to surround yourself with the messages and the kind of lifestyle that you do want. So I know earlier we were talking about being around a lot of negative messaging. Be intentional about surrounding yourself with the messaging that helps you, the messaging that propels you forward. So we know that breakups are hard. They're going to be difficult. You know, there's not going to be anything that we can say that can magically, you know, make everything better and make the pain go away. It's something that you have to go through and is a process. But there are things that we can do to mitigate some of that damage in the long run.
That's
what
right.
We're hoping for.
Making small changes to your day or to your routine can make a big difference, you know, after you've done them for several weeks. It really can. You know, even if you have to push through initially, you'll find that you'll start to feel better when you start to do those little things. So hopefully this one's been helpful to you. And of course, if you want to get our help personally, you can do that on my website, askgreg.net. I do email coaching and I do Zoom calls. Coach Victoria is also available for Zoom calls.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat.
Just click on her name on the top of the website to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.